Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. The first half of 2025 has been an absolute whirlwind for the budget smartphone market. We are seeing features that were once reserved for flagships like IP ratings and high refresh rates. Today we are comparing the 6 hottest budget smartphones for early 2025. The Infinix Smart10, Tecno Pop10, HMD Arc, Itel City100, Poco C71 and RedmiA5. We break down their highlights, compare them and crown the budget king for the first half 2025. But before we dive in, just a huge favor, smash the subscribe button and hit the like button, and it helps us to keep making content like this. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Our first contender is the Itel City100, which was unveiled in May 2025. It sports a 6.75-inch HD Plus LCD display with a 90Hz refresh rate and 700 nit peak brightness. Under the hood is an Infinix T7250 octa-core chipset running Pure 14.5, which is a custom Android 14. So everyday apps and social media runs fine. You get a 4GB RAM plus optional virtual RAM expansion and 128GB storage. The Itel City100 packs a large 5200 mAh battery with 18 watts fast charging, and Itel claims up to 51 hours of use between charges. Durability is strong. It is IP64 rated for dust splash resistance and even survives drops up to 1.5 meters. The cameras include a 13MP rear and 8MP front shooter, plus Itel's unique DeepSeek ROI AI feature for on-the-fly translation, OCR, and gesture controls. It even has an infrared IR blaster to control your TV and AC. For security, the City100 has a side-mounted fingerprint sensor and face unlock. For the box content, Itel normally includes a charger, USB-C cable, clear case, SIM tool, and manuals in the box. The price in Nigeria for 4GB RAM and 128GB storage is about $110,900. In USD, it's approximately $75, and India is estimated around 6,500 to 7,500 Indian rupee. In summary, the City100 offers massive battery life, smooth 90Hz display, plenty RAM with options of expansion, and a standard spec for DeepSeek AI and IR, making it a top value pick. Next up is the Infinix Smart10, launched in June 2025. It features a 6.67-inch HD Plus LCD at 120Hz refresh rate with 700 nits brightness, which is usually a high refresh rate for a phone this cheap. It's powered by the same Infinix T7250 chipset as the City100, paired with 3GB or 4GB RAM and up to 256GB storage. It runs on the latest Android 15 XOS 15.1, so software feels modern. Battery-wise, it has a 5000 mAh pack with 15 watts charging. The cameras are basic, capable of up to 2K video. It also has some nice extras like DTS stereo speakers and high-resolution audio, plus a side fingerprint sensor and face unlock. Notably, the Smart10 carries an IP64 splash dust rating and even supports 1.5 meters drop resistance, which is rare at this price. For pricing, the Infinix aimed very low, around $60, so the Smart10 is among the most affordable in this category. In Nigeria today, the 4GB 64GB model goes around 118,000 and 4GB 128GB version around 123,000. In India, it is expected to depart under 7,000 Indian rupee. Bottom line, the Infinix Smart10 delivers a smooth 120Hz refresh rate screen, solid battery, and splash protection at a very low price, though cameras and charging speeds are quite basic. Now let's talk about the Tecno Pop10, launched in June 2025. It has a 6.6-inch HD Plus IPS display at 90Hz refresh rate and runs on Android 14 Go edition, lightweight but limited. Its chipset is a Infinix T606, which is a fairly entry-level compared to the T7250 of the Infinix Smart10 and Itel City100. You can get the Pop10 with 3GB or 4GB of RAM and 64GB or 128GB storage. The battery is 5000 mAh with 10 watts fast charging, so endurance is decent. Camera setup is a bit quirky, with a secondary AI lens and an 8MP front camera with dual LED flashes. It also has stereo speakers, AI beauty mode and scene detection, For security, there is side fingerprint scanner. It has an IP64 dust water resistant rating too. It is priced at 103,300 for 4GB RAM and 64GB of storage, while the 4GB RAM and 128GB storage is at 117,600 in Nigeria. In USD, it is approximately $70 to $90, while in India it is estimated at 6,000 to 7,500 Indian rupee. In summary, the Pop10 offers a smooth 90Hz screen, but is using an older Android and a weaker chip at about 103,000 in Nigeria for the 4GB 64GB model. It is cheaper than most competitors. Up next is the HMD Arc, a unique entry from HMD Global, which is popularly Nokia. Released January 2025, the Arc's headline is repairability and longevity. It has a 6.52-inch HD Plus display at 60Hz refresh rate, which is much lower resolution and refresh rate than the others, but it keeps cost ultra low. Inside is a Unisoc XC9836A octa-core chip with 4GB RAM and 64GB storage, running on Android 14 Go edition. The Arc packs a 5000 mAh battery with only 10 watts charging, but HMD promises up to 51 hours of use and up to 800 charge cycles. Cameras are 13MP rear with autofocus plus LED flash and 5MP front. On the plus side, it has an IP52 rating, where some markets even get up to IP54, and a side fingerprint sensor. Notably, the Arc is built with easy DIY repairs and supports 2 years of security updates. Pricing is very low, about 65 to 75 USD, which is approximately 108,000 in Nigeria for the 4GB model. In India, it is expected around 7,000 Indian rupee. So the HMD Arc strengths are its affordability, longevity, and eco-friendly repair design. Its drawbacks are the very basic display, which is 60Hz and slow charging. Now for the Xiaomi's Poco C71, launched in April 2025. It features a huge 6.88-inch HD Plus IPS screen at 120 adaptive refresh rates, one of the largest, smoothest displays here. It is powered by a Unisoc 7250 with 4GB or 6GB of RAM and up to 128GB storage, running on Android 15 with HyperOS. The 5000 mAh battery and 50 watts charging match the A5 levels. The camera is a strong point, a 32MP main shooter with LED flash plus an 8MP selfie, which is capable of taking videos at 1080p. It has dust water resistance rating of IP52 and a fingerprint sensor, which is side mounted. No fancy AI gimmicks here, just a big bright screen and solid camera. In India, the 4GB 6GB RAM launched at just 6,499 Indian rupee, which is about $78. In Nigeria, it's about 94,900 for the 3GB RAM to 106,900 for the 4GB of RAM, which is very affordable. The C71 selling point is the ultra-large 128Hz display, big battery, and 32MP camera. It has an excellent price to performance value for someone wanting a big screen and decent imaging on a tight budget. Finally, we have the Xiaomi RedmiA5, released in March 2025. It also sports a 6.88-inch HD Plus display at 120Hz refresh rate with 600 nits of brightness and special eye comfort certifications. Under the hood is the same Unisoc 7250 with 3GB or 4GB of RAM plus virtual RAM up to 8GB and a 64GB or 128GB of storage, all on Android 15. The Redmi A5's 32MP AI dual rear camera, which has portrait and night modes, match the Poco C71. It has a 5000 mAh battery and 15 watts charging. Notably, the A5 carries an IP52 dust water rating and has both side fingerprint and AI face unlock for security. Indian prices are 6,499 Indian rupee for the 3GB 64GB and 7,499 Indian rupee for the 4GB and 128GB. Nigerian street price for 3GB and 64GB is around 95,000, 4GB and 128GB about 115,000. The Redmi's A5 strengths are its large high refresh rate display, strong 32MP camera, big battery, and MUI features like extra filters. It is a great all-round performer at a rock bottom price. especially for camera and video enthusiasts. So grading these phones from 1st to 6th place. For display, Poco C71 and RedmiA5, which are 6.88 inches and 120 Hz refresh rates, coming first, followed by Infinix and Tecno, while Itel takes the 3rd position. Coming last in this display category is the HMD Arc. For battery and charging, Itel takes the 1st position. It has a 5200 mAh battery, 18 watts charging plus warranty. Coming second is the Poco and Redmi. Place is Tecno. Infinix takes the 4th place, while HMD takes the last spot. For toughness, Infinix and Itel comes first, which has IP64 rating plus drop proof of 1.5 meters. The Tecno comes second with IP54 rating, while the HMD Arc comes third in this category of toughness. Coming last is the Poco C71 and RedmiA5. For performance, the Poco, Redmi, Infinix and Itel, which has Unisoc 7250 chipset, takes the same position, followed by Tecno Pop10, which has a Unisoc 606 chipset. Taking last position in this category of performance is the HMD, which has Unisoc XC9863A. For software, the Poco and Redmi, which has a 3 years optimization, takes the 1st position, followed by Infinix, which comes with the Android 15 Go edition. The 3rd position goes to Itel and Tecno, while the HMD Arc takes the last position in this category. For the overall winner, I want to hear you in the comment section who you think took the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th position. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching this video. As always, stay creative, live in the moment. I will see you in the next video.